Hello, 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 welcome. Always taking a moment to breathe you in, yes? To breathe in this moment. We are, of course, excited to be in this Facebook, yes? What a wonderful tool, yes? It is, let's speak, and it will, ripple out across the world, yes? Very good, very good. So, there are so many things we can speak about that sometimes, when Jackie asks, well, what do you want to talk about? We say, well, it could be anything, yes? And yet today we thought, let's talk about this idea of lessons. Because it comes to us often, when we are interacting, when we have the gift and the honor of interacting. Hello, Courtney. Hello. Welcome.
She actually said hi, Jackie, but all of you. Cheryl says hi.
Wonderful. Hello, Cheryl. Hello. It is so wonderful to feel the joy and the fun of friends coming together. Yes.
I thought you might want to.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Donald. Do you say hi to Donald?
I do.
Yes.
Hi, everybody.
Wonderful. So often, people will come and there's this ache. Yes, this little bit of an ache or a disruption in their energy. And they will ask, what is the lesson that I'm supposed to learn in this struggle that I am having, or in this conflict that is occurring, or in this incident that I experienced, yes? What is the lesson? And what we notice isn't so much about what the question, the words of the question of what is the lesson. We notice the disconnect or the bewilderment or the dimming it can cause in the light, yes? What is the lesson? I need to get past this. I need to find out what it is that I keep getting this lesson of, not enough of this or not enough of that or too much of that, or, whatever is tickling the discomfort. And what we started looking at, what are you looking at as lesson? And what we realized is that it's this idea that you're supposed to figure something out. And until you do, there's punishment. And that then you look at, how can I figure out this lesson so that I can advance. I can get to where I want to go, or at least get to another step in the process, or be deemed, expanded enough to get to be connected, to not be in this severing place, or to be in a differing awareness for myself of, what in your world we recognize as privilege distribution, yes? And what we'd like to bring is that if you were sent to your planet, and by the way, you aren't sent, you choose, and you were supposed to figure some things out or learn some lessons so you could advance and move on, but you didn't get to have what you needed to know, that would be very evil, be cruel. And evil and cruelty, those were created by humans in the midst of separation. It doesn't come from Creator, ever. Privilege distribution does not come from Creator, ever. Creator would never ever say, you get to have this, you don't. And you get to have it if you figure this thing out, but we're not going to really give you everything you need. Or you have to figure out how to get what you need. That is not how it operates. You are an extraordinary being. And you came in as an ad, and as a complement, and an expander, and an inspirer of existence in your physical world and in all non-physical also. And so we began looking, and we thought, how can we assist individuals with maybe stepping out of or shedding that ache, that discomfort, that I can't quite get to it, We have one who's spoken to us, we won't name any names, and yet has said sometimes, Mary, it feels like the carrot is always there. And it's getting so maddening to me that why don't we get to have the carrot? Why are we always trying to get to something we want? And we keep doing all of these things to touch it, to get to have it. And it's always out of reach. And again, we will offer to you that would never come from creation, from union, from Creator, from God, from, great sky, whatever it is that sings in your soul to know your connectedness and oneness. And so we were looking at lessons and how it feels like an ache or an unreachable. Or if I do get it, then I have to figure out how to keep it. Then there's going to be more lessons to get to keep it. Or I have to do it right or it'll all go away. So we, again, as we were offering, we began to look, how else might we bring this, yes? So we look, of course, through all the detailed energies and experiences in your world. And we landed on what we believe is called a textbook, yes? A book where there is knowledge that you may have some of or none of or all of, even as you move through it. And yet what we noticed is that when you turn a page, which is like lesson 1, lesson 2, lesson 3, and we thought about that, and if you look at that as a burden, then you could be bringing in lesson, the ache and angst energy around lesson also. And yet if you look at it as I'm opening another page or taking in another paragraph, and I'm going to go through and see what is for me here. What is here that I don't know or can maybe know in a different way, or even bring my energy and my add and my perspective to add to what's here. And then have this great conversation that expands the knowing, the understanding, the realization, and the release of division. Because as you move in, opening those lessons, yes, it's just information. Now that's very different than I need to figure this out and I don't have enough information. There's always information. And you're just, looking through the pages and deciding what in there attracts your attention or calls your inspiration or intrigue or curiosity to know more. And to bring yourself together with and to give to and to pull from. And of course we're coming off that textbook and talking about, every moment of your life. And so now let's talk about that carrot. Because it's not about the unreachable. It's about I'm choosing to step into the full expression of who I am and combine myself in interaction with that which I do know, that which I do not know, and that which can become differing because I've become a part of it now. And that carrot isn't dangling anywhere. Your enrichment and your nourishment isn't out there somewhere to get. It's right here inside your being. And it's bringing you forward. And so, it's this lesson. If you can shift it to, here's an opportunity, and I get to decide what of it is important to me. So some of this was stirred by a conversation that Jackie was having with a friend a while ago on this venue, on this Facebook, where he described a situation that he ran into that was unsettling for him. And he talked about how he responded to the situation and how the situation responded to him and what his experience was. And as he was talking about it, at the end he said, what's the lesson I'm supposed to learn here? And the difficulty in that is that it's the I don't know, but I'm supposed to figure it out. And then the ache of, what if I don't get it right? Or what if I miss the lesson and so I don't get something else? And instead, if you ask, and perhaps he is or was, what did I just have opportunity for discovering? And does it have interest for me? Is it a necessary for me or an unnecessary? Is it something that I can know more of myself of? And if so, am I interested? And what is it? And not from what do I need to figure out and gather from outside of me. These are questions in your own personal relationship with your life of exploration and curiosity. And so what we just wanted to come forth and talk about today is when you think about what's my lesson, if you can shift it a bit to really be with you and to drop all the against, all of the threat, all of the conflict out. And just instead be curious and open and wonder and ponder and discover and say, you know what? I need a little bit more information before I understand that one, before I can answer those questions in the back of the chapter. Yes? And yet those questions in the back of the chapter aren't about, in our instance, and what we're talking about, aren't about you're supposed to get those right and those are predetermined answers. Those questions actually form in each one of you in differing ways to match your vibrational being, to match your vibrational desire, and who you are and what you're moving with. And so we just wanted to come in today and say, what if instead of threaten, what if instead of, if I don't get it right, I don't get the prize? You thought, wow, I have an opportunity for curiosity. And I get to decide if there's even anything in this particular experience for me to derive from and learn from. And if so, what it is. And not that I have to figure out to win or to not be punished. And instead, it's all about my expansion and discovery. And it's about my sharing myself with the world and with myself and my internal world. And so, absolutely every moment you can walk through a room and there are multiple chapters of multiple lessons. If you bring your presence and your curiosity and your exchange, your mutual exchange, into view with it, opening your senses and noticing what is there and what's maybe not there, and being in a state of curiosity and discovery. Your life is not a test. Your life is an experience to be caused and carved and created through this beautiful, unique artistry that you are. Breathing your own breath and bringing this specific, unique wonderment that you are into your experience and relation with yourself and into the experience and relation with the world. We had a recent conversation with some friends about what is my path. And one of the things we brought out for you to realize is that you are a path. And that you have a path you're moving on. And that path is not narrow. And it isn't predetermined. Unless you choose it to be. You can create that experience where you're running into, I want to go in and have this path where I realize where I am in my path the whole way along. Absolutely, you can create anything you wish for a lifetime. And yet, that path remains malleable. It remains possible. And you can shift and change it in any moment. And what we mean by that is that as you interact with other things, you're interacting with pathways. As you interact with other people, you're interacting with pathways. So if somebody comes into your experience and they have something they want you to, to climb in and know about, you get to decide if that's for you. And they with you also, you can bring your deliciousness forward. And it'll be for some and not for others. And all of that is perfect. And so breathing and knowing if somebody didn't receive what I had to offer, it's not a lesson like I failed or I passed or I'm punished or I succeed or I get to move on or I don't. It's a lesson in, wow, there's always so much to discover in every moment and in every exchange, internally and externally, in the life that you are and the life that you are living. So we're just here today to say, have some fun. Have some fun. And let the lessons not be about predetermined or agenda, whether you believe it's your own or something you're trying to meet. And instead, let it be about, wow, there's really a lot I could discover there, and I'm interested, or maybe later, or not at all. And so in this incident that this gentleman described that he had, it's really, it was an interpersonal thing with a stranger. Something where, somebody had put themselves into his path. And he responded from what he felt was important in the moment. And so when you go to see if there's a lesson there, you might lend to questioning yourself. Did I do the right thing? Did I respond in the right way? Based on what? So instead, if you're going to ask yourself those questions, the back of the chapter questions, then let them be real questions. What mattered to me about that? What's important? What do I need to know? What might I be informing myself of? Because we've shared with you that tool of evidence. In the trilogy, if you didn't hear it before, you can look to see that Facebook that we did. That trilogy of evidence. I'm having a response to something. What am I informing myself of? And it's never about the thing you had the response to. It's about what am I asking myself to know about me? Not, did I do it right? Love yourself. And if you also say, well, I'm informing myself that maybe I'd like to do that a little differently, then there's no lamenting in that, because there will be more opportunities. But they're not lessons to pass or fail. That's what we wanted to offer to you. It's not a punishing universe. It's a loving universe. And we invite you to love yourself every moment of every day, in every breath. That is your own breath shared with the world and yourself. Be well, our friends.
Thanks for joining us, everybody. Please share this video. Look for other videos of ours on the Mary Group, on YouTube, and events and upcoming programs on our website, themarygroup.com. Yep. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
guys. Bye.